If your company allows time off in lieu, there are multiple ways in Sage HR that you can process this. Firstly, you can create a time off policy and call it TOIL, for example. And you would add the employee's TOIL hours by adjusting the hours of their time off balance manually. This can be done in their profile in the time off tab by clicking Change Balance. Alternatively, if you have the timesheets module, you can set it up so that overtime hours are allocated to a selected time off policy. When an employee enters and submits their timesheet hours, they then have the option of where they want those hours to go. If an employee wants to use their TOIL, they can then select the time off policy or to have it paid out. In this video, we're going to look at creating a policy to look at TOIL and link to timesheets. The first step is to go to your name at the top and to Settings, Time Off, Policies, and similar to setting up any other time off policy, we're going to click Add New Policy. In here, we can name it anything we like, so we're just going to pop TOIL, for example, and in here, we'll call it Time Off in Lieu. We're going to change this to allocate 0 hours and pop it down at the beginning of the employee's start date. Make sure to add any of the extra fields in that you need, similar to any other policy you may have set up. It's worth noting in this section that you can have this set for calendar settings and working patterns, depending how you have your working patterns set. Once you're happy with everything in here, click Create. It's at this stage that you can add who you want to be able to use this policy. If not, we can save it for now and go back to add this in at a later date. When you click Save, you'll see that it is showing here as created. Once you have your time off in lieu policy set up, it's worth looking at how you have your overtime tracked. To find this, we'd go to Settings, Timesheets, and Overtime. In this top section here, you have the option to choose how you want this to track. You can either have it done as each day individually, hours exceeding default working patterns, or don't count at all. It is worth noting, if you use Sage HR integrated with Sage Payroll UK, you must select each day individually for approved timesheets to send across to payroll. In this drop-down section here, you can select a time off policy to have an employee choose to move overtime hours to. So this gives them the option of whether or not they want to go to the time off balance or have it paid out. There may be a time when you need to track overtime for part-time employees using working patterns. To be eligible for overtime payouts, labour codes often require part-time employees to accumulate hours equal to a full-time working day. To enforce this, you can specify the number of hours to calculate overtime when you set up working patterns. To check your working patterns, you would go to your name at the top, Settings, Employee Data, Employment Status and Working Patterns. Scroll down to your working patterns and we're going to look at this full-time working pattern as an example. So click Actions and Edit. In this window, you'll see an option here for overtime settings. And the overtime is calculated as hours worked over the duration defined in the working pattern. So for example, on Monday, in this working pattern, the employee would finish at 6 o'clock. If they work and track anything in their timesheet over 6 o'clock, you would have it classed as overtime. You would click in here, so use a specific number of hours to calculate overtime. This is if you want it to be anything over. Once you are happy with it set in there, you can click Continue and it saves. Having this parameter set will enable Sage HR to track the overtime for each day only if it reaches this amount of time. For example, if set to 8 hours overtime, calculations will only take into account time worked after 8 hours, even if the day duration defined in the working pattern is lower.